Only 40 after 7. I had Kessben 92 points. Now, Finn was joining here. Ma Yena was here to pay na Nsiah, executive director Edema Simpson. Now, Komoi, Eba ye no na Edia, and Red Shidi, na the claims Nano, and they said the investigation committee, no, a year set up by the energy minister, no, ought to have expanded one more mandate a day, Emma, one by now, say. State institutions in France, yes, one more air kasa. We would have gotten finality to this whole matters of missing containers of the electricity company of Ghana. Ben, good morning. That's saying.
Good morning, Mr. Speaker.
Yes, and some of your suggestions, Anna Medical Abuboso and pay clearly. The former MD for ECG, Samuel Dubik Mahama, Efrasia Wakasa. Revelations are eba correspondence what Troye Edema a year. The Ghana Revenue Authority, the Customs Division, our port at the time, I want more yes, one more bit me auction some of the containers, and in Comodia Eba, plus the revelation Ababa Beto Jassa, even as at January, or better still March this year, na the National Security Coordinator, Atron Krata, indicated, and they more air for some of the containers. To Abelimpi warehouse of the National Security Council. Nina no ejina subima and then Komodieno take a different turn. Mamintio on some of this document say ye ka say e won mountain so a weni atimi ho.
Good afternoon. The summarize documents are in here to pick about and documents are and so about 2025 year conclude a position the kind of containers no intimate free port abra Ghana Revenue Authority way. The containers no intimate free port abra Ghana Ports and Harbours Authority way. Containers no intimate free port abra Ghana Standard Authority way. And a containers no intimate free port abra the Customs Division of the GRA no way. So we have correspondence between Samuel Dubik and Commissioner General then of GRA. It confirms our position. Say, yet then containers no GRA enim hubi na mwa say bepimene no omon kasai. Grandi Samuel the documents be about. Nti ye say yeti omon so the entire omo auction containers na bra as a first respondent to the containers no and as obi import containers ne ba ne ya na kwanya ama ono ambe clear the goods because of them brana experience say containers no eba na say e call UCL under declared cargo akwa under declared cargo no ono o import container ne ba ye no e wo ho akan one is for 21 days so want me and clear ye free terminal simu either Atlas and aba be free onyina e de call some of the GRA terminals because I was a clear port no na yatimi e de pro abesi ye clear na e de kwa within 60 days and e de more ye was so betia want me antia na no ma ho akwanya say was so auction but so be auction na e was a nipa na o import buy no on the first person I was so money say akwanya no so no still want me ama ambitia auction fee na o de man na na wape ankrankre ama ono befa these containers but the common no chere say ono ECG kra no na onya we later no oti say GRA auction the containers so why should a state agency another state agency while within the same government import containers na one man na kwanya so no be clear kane na afi waton containers na so auction containers ama ni ba fronti it confirms our position say containers ni nyirai GRA staff omubi ena omo ayekana na aton containers no but the second position is containers na yaton no den a ebesamba ECG ho because this is a black market a cartel ye import niema ba na se niema no obi antumi an clear no ma fa kwan bi so ya confiscate allocate ama ankrankre anase ya auction ama ankrankre auction no dey kra no sometimes a diskaka kraba because auction no no will be a bede will be to a bede even sometimes more than the cost of importation and as a CIF. But near me, because I say allocate krana, allocation it me exempt a lot of duties, Nenema, Nadia Chofree. And to become krano, not a be near auction, a be allocation. And these allocations are a toy was a utiama, a bino, untiasa at one. And now sometimes also no demurrage a can contain an AC1 also tear demurrage fees in Okrano.
Yeah.
And untia. Sometimes even shipping fee no cross a allocation of untia. Inti say GRA allocated these goods and a consignment be at the demand individuals via. That means that individuals, sa near my shipping fee, demurrage fee, all the duties ne also mutiano. Sa individual and require no one tia, obitia kumabi. Inti your position is a say GRA a bekasa. Na everyone say, Mr. Speaker, what can I say GRA I not against on kasa? Because the documents say by the say GRA auction containers maybe.
Yeah.
Some auction containers or auction my wine. This let us know.
Very well. But Mami Ben Jinasumami, let's do this exercise. And let us yekra wahanoma ye intercept on the 2nd of March 2023. Mind you, we have said containers our port for over 3 years now. And on the 2nd of March 2023, this is a letter written to the Commissioner General, Ghana Revenue Authority. Dear sir, request for the halt of auctioning of ECG, PDS consignment and containers at the ports. We wish to respectively apply for an extension of time to clear various consignment of goods standing in the name of ECG and or PDS and request for a halt on any pending auctioning of the said goods or containers. 1. As you may recall, the Electricity Company of Ghana and the government of Ghana terminated various transaction agreements that were entered into with the Power Distribution Services Company Limited, PDS, on the 23rd October and 28th October 2019, respectively. 2. Following the termination, efforts were made to meet with PDS to discuss settlement of outstanding obligations arising as a consequence of the termination, but to no avail. PDS rather gave ECG and the government of Ghana notices of dispute under the transaction agreement and has subsequently initiated legal action against ECG under the dispute resolution provisions in the transaction agreement. PDS and ECG were also defending claims from third parties in respect of actions taken during the pendency of the transaction agreement. 3, we are aware that there are some containers at the port which have been consigned to ECG and PDS and have not been cleared, and which content may be part of the subject matter of the claims brought against ECG. We are, however, not aware of whether PDS has at any time applied for an extension of time to clear the goods which are consigned to it and are currently still at the port. Now, it goes further to state on point 4, say, we also recognize the right of GRA to list the consignment of goods as underdeclared cargo, overstayed containers, and initiate auctioning procedures after gazetting the notification to the owners. In this connection, we are reliably informed that some consigned ECG and PDS containers are being processed for auctioning by the GRA Customs Division, TEMA. Such an action could negatively affect ECG and GOG's successful defense to the claims by PDS. We accordingly hereby respectively request your intervention to formally notify the Customs Division of the GRA of this state of affairs and direct a halt to any plan or ongoing auctioning of the said consignment until such time that we have managed a resolution of the dispute. We wish to also advise that the Customs Division, TEMA, formally write to PDS and inform them of the unclearing of the consignment standing in their name and the intention of the Customs Division to auction the containers and content thereof in accordance with their standing orders and request their reaction to this information. Your kind assistance in this regard would be much appreciated. And this was signed by Samuel Dubik Mahama, Managing Director. Copies of these letters were sent to the Chief of Staff, the Attorney General Asaden, the Honorable Minister for National Security, Energy Minister, Minister for Finance, Executive Director for YOCO, Director General Ghana Port and Harbour Authority, and then the Assistant Commissioner for GRA, Customs Division. And Ben, what kind of letter at say? I mean, the request of the ECG, was very clear. So because of the lapses and the differences between ECG and the PDS, based on the agreement I terminated yenti, I'm a confusion about, and then PDS at the time had gone to court almost raising issues against ECG. For that reason, I mean, Nankes say GRA etwin twen and nase and sana say auction bibe koso kra na eteme akoso. I mean, was it too late to have written to the GRA, and now at the time I later we call and now as I say at all costs one more seize the auctioning of some of the things one more can turn that.
I mean, I think that it was not late. ECG any foreknowledge of that particular intention by GRA. And the moment of foreknowledge, there was some communicated to GRA say, you to me clear, into your UCL. UCL means undeclared cargo list. And he said, you to me clear, and I said, UCL. The obey said, obey so my can in one of the correspondence, only PDS wanted to be settled on case, Maybe not still custom division of the GRA, any already said, obey or more a case, and they said, on auction okay. Auction some of these containers. Then I make us say, Minia, Pamno, Jano, and answer Yachino. They say correspondence in a banner say, GR4, a bone, San Semi, a cosin.
Okay.
And she said, GR4 who bones, San Semi Mua, Namika say, or Sanka, committee extended the mandate, but a moment to extend it. Yes, GR4. Yes, per se. Finality eba matter. Yeah, can I say yes? We na ton. You say the idea chronobi koso, but they should stick on this matter because the moment you make us all matter with minia, I said no at all. There was somebody who said containers 1,357 or 1,346 containers. Yes, it was he who said. Why the back layer? Auction my wine. Company bank and a beneficiary of this particular auction. They bank and no more auctions are near my time bank and no more auction. Yes, say net day back one number of days and a number of years of the auctions are near my. So that Yam Ray and Honka say a minister and so another committee. Yam Ray and Honka say another committee. Almost welcome tea about Micah. Sakan and a yempe because already your containers are here boka. This also because what it committees, not committee, no at least on just in that city allowance here. It's fine, yes, and even before auction and no can medical say, dear GSC phone him. Said, circulate national security cry, and my instructions say, or more and Katibi and free some of the terminals, and found more warehouses.
Yes, but my main kind of letter, now the concerns are Ghana for the donor a reason is yes, it containers are, but why hasn't the minister been transparent enough to say yes, containers in Ukraine say IRA in that huge numbers, there are a portion of it national security for Anna Emma directive say Enco Omo warehouse. Now this letter is dated the 7th day of March. Okay, 2025 this year, Bosumia Etwemwe. Now, this is what it says. The Director General, Ghana Port and Harbour Authority, Accra, request for assistance to evacuate 706 ECG containers. You are kindly informed of plans to evacuate the list of attached containers belonging to the Electricity Company of Ghana to the Abelempe warehouse of the National Security Council. Meanwhile, all port charges be suspended on the said containers pending outcome of ongoing investigation on same. Regards. And this was signed by Mr. Osman Abdul Razak, National Security Coordinator. And someone lifted 706 containers from the shipyards near there na mo de call mo warehouse a war Abelimpia. The presumption is that this 706, might be part of the 1,300 that you said the IRA. So why wasn't the minister transparent about this directive? Free National Security Coordinator Hobai.
But that's many. I think that we have to read the letter carefully and understand it, especially the last part and all kind of investigation. Would you say this investigation by the Minister of Energy and Green started before 7th March? Until before 7th March, and that reconciliation, not any balance, because report a ministry, AGA from the transition, that 3,000. Minister visited there somewhere in February, and no who said no. GRA also a different thing. The ministry started the investigation before the 7th March, and I think within that time, and a national security who said no. Problem or and as the ministry also started investigation through that particular committee, ABA by 7th, I'm just saying ABA by 7th, they had finished their report or more investigations. I will put your report together because the report came around 25th March. What is happening? They said, during the investigation, the national security will say no. And I say, report to my ministry, no, say no, near money be anyhow. I say, near money be a national security per se or more so that it being said, I'm just giving some of these analysis.
Okay.
But if some of these correspondence ought to have also been made earlier by national security because I'm coming cancer to me. Let's say out and can be great to me sensations never and that hastily conclusions have been drawn to be a 1,346 or 1,357 and so it also the state institutions, the agencies, they must be proactive in sharing information because what why a demo will be for again say no, I didn't plan out a bit my said this 706 containers 1,000 1,300 a bit means why no question and count minimum the cow terminals and a year so that a being review, right? But because of the national security, one come one seminal, and a man go hastily conclude. So many, I think that Osman Alasan, the office, a serious office, and I think that they should take Ghanaian serious. At any time, some of these communications, especially with respect to these containers, I was also very proactive with them. I was also more in them. So that you draw conclusions that so that will be review. So that would make a Santima who said no. And yes, I say it. I think they need to speak to us fast. But the message so meaning a station is that Mr. is a speaker, Moma GRA in Casa. And I think that you should call them on phone and let them speak and tell us why we are talking about these containers and their silence. They should tell us brave bang and why they benefit from this particular option. That's what we want to know.
I see. And I mean, some of the conversation are ever up. We'll look to see. Baby, as I'm coming in, Ebeko Aquacosi. Now, what's the minister so a committee for?
Yes, no, I'm saying minister so 93-member committee be say investigative your main who be a the me person me change answer. No, yeah, flop a dead horse. We are not going to get the solution. The solution is that the minister should just go to GRA and especially the customs division of GRA and then ask them whereabouts of these containers because they know the whereabouts. On which much they are nipa na omo man we omo clear and we are done. And say your committee sukrana you bit abide no bit ma instruct the new commissioner no say all my details of these containers. Then they have them in their database. On which much here committee BI managing adwuma bia bi just minister no. Ba bia o hwehwe containers no enye ho na e wo so hwehwe. Enye committee bia na bit ma ho containers no e wo GRA. Containers no GSA ni ho bi. Containers national security ho bi. Say or national security ni database because omo na mokeke a yes no bia na kwa na bia na se bia na fa no report wo. Yenko GRA first Ghana Ports and Harbours Authority database, Yenko GRA database, Australia Custom Division, and they can tell us where these containers are. Now, in committees, they set up. It wastes a lot of time and creates a lot of ambiguity and all unnecessary bickering within the media space. And my solution in them. And Obi as well. In who bomb by this crano, yeah, can you wajane banker within the first week I report about Neka say Jerry and Casa Juan. Kayunipa or this Jumay and also boss Acrony and as a beer, they auction this particular consignment man on my actually pan and yes, I'm at it. Say Bima started Ganifukuma because Omate say Omube more at a
I see. Very well. Ben, Mamina was here to pay. I'm grateful for your time. Why?
That's me.
Ben Sobeda saying to Ben Nsiah, executive director, Edema Semse, speaking to us.